Pleased to have with us Dr. Anton Chuvakin, Principal and Founder of Security Warrior Consulting. Anton, welcome.
Thank you.
And we also have us with today Eric Knapp, who's the Vice President of Technology Marketing of NitroSecurity.
Thank you, Jerry.
What we'd like to do now is just briefly take a look at the outline for today's session. We'll talk first about the differences between security information and event management and log management, what's required to graduate from log management into SIEM, what are important best practices to pay attention to in both the SIEM and log management area, what first steps one should take as one implements and works with SIEM, what are the best ways to integrate and utilize SIEM and log management together. We'll then have some concluding remarks and then shift to the question and answer session. So with that, I'd like to turn the microphone over to Anton.
Hello, everybody. So we would start from discussion and even definitions of SIEM and log management, and then we're going to get to those useful practices that Jerry mentioned. So I get asked fairly often, given my background, that what's the difference between SIEM and log management? And over the years, I managed to condense the question to pretty much this single picture. And it's fairly straightforward. When you think about log management, the first word is log. So it's everything to do with logs. On the other hand, SIEM is about security information and event management. This means, literally, dealing with logs for various issues: security, operations, debugging, compliance, all sorts of other uses for logs called for log management, and dealing with definitely different types of security data, including logs, but also vulnerability data, asset data, captured files, network traffic, network flows, calls for security information and event management system. So even though you can get, and you should be getting the systems from the same vendor in most cases, the actual missions of those two tools are not exactly the same. Think about this. You can use a log management tool to manage logs from a single machine. On the other hand, SIEM is a system that would help an enterprise deal with different types of information coming from various sources. So with that out of the way, I would like to switch to the first section on best practices and other interesting useful tips from my experience with both tools. Now, to further define, sort of to come down from 30,000-foot view to maybe a 1,000-foot view of SIEM versus log management, and I will deal with the SIEM with log management part later. When you think of a log management tool, you think about grabbing all the data you can get. Pretty much, if it logs, if it creates an audit record, grab it. Can be used later. That means, that type of broad collection means that you need to have efficient log data collection and retention. Now, if you're thinking of using a relational database for storing massive amounts of log data, you would be up for an unpleasant surprise, that is for sure. As part of a log management mission, you sometimes want to go and look at log data across all this type of massive array of data you collected. So you use searching, sometimes speeded up by indexing, but the key point is that you can write an expression and go search through all the log data. In particular, when you use log management with SIEM, some of the queries would be initiated by SIEM when you're trying to look at different data and log data based on an alert produced by the SIEM. Log management tools would sometimes have broad use reporting capabilities, maybe not necessarily focused on security analysts and security managers, but focused on a broad use for different types of log data. And I would we would substantiate what's broad use, what's a security-focused use a bit later. And now, as people know, logs are not produced in megabyte sizes. They're sometimes produced in gigabyte sizes. In rare cases, they're produced in terabyte sizes. And I had the unfortunate reality of seeing an environment where logs are produced in petabyte sizes, which is, just for reference, 1,000 terabytes. So that type of massive array of data sometimes calls for scalable operation of the entire log management system.